We live. There we go. Welcome. Hearing that music. Second one thing only. Monday Night Raw is over. Live. Producer man, are we good? Yes, yes, yes. All right, welcome into the last word part of the Behind the Turnbuckle universe. I, of course, am the coach. For all of you weighing in here on the chat, ask any questions you want. We'll try to get to as many as we possibly can. Do not forget, here in our universe, we are brought to you by Mybookie.ag. Use the promo code BTT. I'll give all new customers a 100% sign-up bonus up to $1,000. And do not forget, every single day for existing customers, existing clients, we get to play fun things together like tonight, where we gave $35 for every touchdown. There's only been one touchdown in Monday Night Football. It's a lot of fun over mybookie.ag. Let's bring in my partner, as always. He is literally becoming a star before our very eyes. Big Tommy C. And Tommy, don't you have a couple of podcasts you got coming up this week that you're going to be a guest on?
Yes, Wednesday I'm on Reffing It Up with Hebner and Corderis. And if you guys have any questions, go on X. You see it's advertised on there. Questions for me, I'm on Wednesday night at 6:30.
All right. Very, very good. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to user 279. Any new fans that are joining us tonight, we're live every single Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. By the way, this Friday we drop our latest interview with one half of the Headbangers. Chaz will be on Friday. Also, we drop another episode, about 15 or 20 minutes. I don't even know what the topic is this week. And for you premium members, you get the War Room every single Friday. Tons of content across the platform. Now, Tommy, we got to talk about tonight's main event because, well, I would love to start. There's a lot of positives tonight, Monday Night Raw. But that mosh at the end, and I took a lot of heat this week, Tommy, and boy, did it affect me. I mean, I was quoted everywhere about Jade and Bianca Belair, and I was, Coach, let the queens cook. That was an absolute shit show at the end tonight. And here comes Nia Jax. I've never seen a backdrop onto the apron instead of the floor, the ring, or whatever. That made no sense. But I know what they're doing. They're trying to set up war games. Your thoughts on that main event?
Yeah, it was a shit show. I mean, I don't know what to do with Jade. I just don't get it. She's not believable at all. I mean, everybody, Bianca's as believable as hell. Even Tiffany's believable at this point, but she is not believable. Everything she does just doesn't look right. She doesn't seem comfortable in the ring. I thought she brought it up at one of the last PLEs, but man, it just seems to regress, and I don't get it. I mean, she's a stud athlete, Coach.
See, Tommy, I do not like the fact that you are so negative all the time. I have listened to the fan base, and I refuse to be negative tonight. I thought they did a double kip up, was very, very nice. I thought the energy was very positive. I thought as the tag team champions of the world, they worked very, very well together. I thought Jade really, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? But at least Nia Jax, at least we're going to have a War Games, and Liv still continues. That she's a huge positive to me. She continues to be the women's champion. I absolutely love. I love what she's doing. I love that she's mixing it up. That part I like. But Tommy, if there was ever an example that this women's division needs Charlotte Flair back, needs Rhea Ripley back, needs Becky Lynch back, that last Tommy, they had a 2-segment match. And they didn't even go to the ring until 49 after.
I know.
What are you chopping it up when you only got 10 minutes left?
Yeah. And then EO Sky did a run in, and it was just. You are so right. And the difference is you see Liv in the ring, she takes some serious bumps, but she can work in the ring. She makes it look real. And Jade just looks so fake and plastic to me. That's the problem I have with Jade. She doesn't look natural. She is not natural in the ring at all. If I'm wrong, folks, and you're chatting it up here, I want to hear why I'm wrong about that. But I don't think I am. Hello. Yeah, I'm mute. Coach is talking. Hello.
Still on there. Can you hear me, Tommy?
Now I hear you. No,
Okay,
I didn't
great.
hear you before.
Okay, so we're talking about the top level of professional wrestling, and you're the tag team champions of the world. You've got to, and I don't know if she is. There I am. I don't know if she is working, but if I were them, I would have her in the ring every single afternoon possible. I would have her going to the performance center because, like the elbow into the corner, the yeah, that's amateur stuff. That's amateur stuff. You got to be able to work better than that. And Little Al says, Tommy, you are not wrong. So we're not going to focus a lot on that because we know who she is. And Tommy, she's not getting better. And until she gets better, I refuse to say anything because all of the dirt sheets are saying that I'm being mean or that I'm lying or that I don't have any credibility. And you know what? One thing that hasn't happened about anything I said in the last 2 weeks, Tommy,
What's that?
nobody's refuted it.
Right.
Nobody has said, "No, coach is wrong." Nobody
Right.
said, "No," right? Because I'm right.
Yep.
Because I'm right. Let's get into the positive tonight, Tommy. I think the biggest performance tonight was The Miz. I want everybody in the chat. Did you guys like The Miz tonight? The turn, the carrying cross, the beat down of the Wyatt Six. I thought Miz was fantastic. How about you?
Dude, it was the pre-tape of the night, and there's only a couple of superstars that can pull that off, and Miz is one of them. He had me hooked, line, and sinker. I'm out of here. I'm going to Adam Pierce. I need time off. They drag him in the ring. And carrying cross, man, he has picked his game up from here, coach, up to here. Of talking to you and then yelling at you, I'm going to break your legs, and the two goons behind him coming in the ring. Here is what I didn't like. The Wyatts come, right? The lights should have stood down and they should have flashed these guys all over the friggin' arena. Miz makes the powder, he gets out, and then I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them wrestle. I don't want to see them beat down. But I get it because of the swerve of the Miz. But I hate when there's physicality. It just makes them look normal. And I get him laughing at the end, like, oh, ha, ha, that wasn't anything. It
But
just,
Tommy, I think that ship has sailed. I know you keep saying that, but
yeah,
I think we're past that. I think now you have to get to a point where they kidnapped Miz. They had the pre tapes, they had all the
yeah,
stuff, and then Miz gets out and he says to Carrion, and that was a big swerve. I don't mind it so much if we get the payoff, which we did, and then the chair shot. Hey AEW, that's how you do chair shots: straight to the back, straight
yep,
to the back, no headshots, but you get the impact. And then Miz, who's been around for 20 some damn odd years, all of
yeah.
a sudden he's got new life just like that. I thought that was the best thing of the entire night.
Oh,
I
I
really,
agree.
really did.
Absolutely, I agree. Absolutely. I mean, he's picked up his game, man. Only Miz can do stuff like that, man. He is really believable. Besides Kevin Owens, who I really like cutting promos as a heel and everything, and what he says, and he looks at you. The Miz is top notch when it comes to doing stuff like this.
He's kind of cutting through at a time where a lot of the airtime and a lot of the promos, Tommy, are being taken up by the War Games, by the Bloodline, and also what we're seeing a lot of talent crossing over. We saw all the women cross over tonight. We saw the men toss over tonight. And I will give I'm trying to be as positive as I can because Tommy, it's hurting my soul to get all of these insults on social media. So I will say this: I like the pre-tape. I like the pre-tapes with Sami Zayn. I like the recruiting. I like the Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins for the 8,000th time fighting in the ring. But Tommy, at what point? And I know I was not the greatest worker in the world. I get that. But Tommy, if I have to see one more bad punch, one more bad forearm that wouldn't break a plastic spoon, I'm going to drive myself crazy. I can't hear Seth Rollins talk about being a badass, and then he's throwing these horrible punches as if he's
Uh,
never been a worker or a top superstar for over a decade. Why can't we beat each other up like we're in a real fight?
yeah, I totally agree. I don't get it either. And how many times are we going to see pull aparts? I'm tired of them. They should have beat their ass all the way outside of the ring. That's what they should have did instead of having to pull aparts. And then Adam Pierce comes in like 10 minutes later. Well, where's Adam anyway? You don't see the security running by him. He's got. I know I'm being an idiot. I
now
really am.
I did get when Seth came out, I thought he was gonna do a whole promo again, and I was like, "Oh my god, really?" But then he stopped and he did the run, and I thought that was really, really good. I really did.
Yep.
And then Bronson Reed going through the ropes, I
Yeah.
didn't know he could fit through the ropes, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. And so that was pretty cool. Hitting the security, that's a real fight. When he gave the elbows and stuff.
Yep.
But when they're fighting Tommy with each other, that is when, and we used to see it all the time. Apologize before you go out and say,
Yep.
"Hey, man, I may have to lay one in. The
Yeah.
camera's going to be right there. Let me lay it in." And then that's when they go, "Man, those guys, do they really not like each other,
Yep.
or do they really not like each other?" It. I hate using the word fake. It
Yeah.
looks fake to me.
Yeah, it looks really bad. Yeah, and you know who Bronson Reed reminds me of? Man, he looks like he's not a bad looking athlete, man, because he can get around. He moves pretty good. He's pretty quick. He reminds me of Bam Bam Bigelow a little bit back in the day, man.
Interesting.
Bam Bam was a
Interesting.
great athlete, and I'm watching him. He cut a nice little promo in the ring. Bam Bam didn't cut great promos. He had a manager and all that stuff like that. But man, nobody worked better doing those flips and everything. That's what Bronson Reed reminds me a little bit of Bam Bam Bigelow. I think he's a pretty good athlete. So if you're going to potato somebody, potato him. If you're not going to potato him, you look really bad trying to do it and being a big badass both he is, and it looks really bad. And it did look really bad. And you got to pick that crap up.
But
That's bad.
it's not the first time,
I know.
Tommy, and
I know.
and if the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I've seen other shows and other people be very critical of that, they watch it. Nobody reads social media more than wrestlers. Nobody, trust me on that. Nobody reads social
Yeah.
media. So if that's the case, isn't Triple H, who is one of the greatest workers of all time, not sitting Seth Rollins down or sitting down Bronson Reed and saying, "Guys, you're a main storyline here. You've
Yep.
got to pick this up." And I don't mean you have to draw blood, but damn, lay something in.
Man,
Lay something in.
did they see the storyline with CM Punk and Drew? I mean, come on, man. They were stiff. They
Stiff.
were stiff and believable. That's the problem. It's believable. I don't believe this yet. You gotta pick it up, guys. Man, if you're
Quote
gonna be
from
badass, gotta pick it up.
quote from Rich in the chat. He says, "Interesting decision to put the women's tag title match last. I figured it would have been Kaiser against Priest." Does that surprise you, Tommy?
No, it doesn't surprise me because they wanted to do this schmaz at the end and leave you with this, "Oh my god, this is gonna happen at War Games." Kaiser, Damian didn't really mean anything, right? I mean, except for the heat they had in the first segment, right? So, that's the reason why it was more important. I think Liv is more important at this point than Kaiser going against Damian Priest or Damian going against Kaiser. You know what I
Uh,
mean?
yeah, I take full notes on the show, and I take several pages of notes, and I wrote down bad punches, bad forearms in that one too by Kaiser. Now, when he came out with Gunther and Gunther shut him down, that's kind of setting the stage for something we'll see later. And I know there's fans out there that are into Gunther, so I get it. So we'll see what that is. But you're talking 220, Gunther, maybe 250, 260. I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know if anybody's going to care. But Tommy, they have to try. They
Yeah.
have to try. The one thing I hate is when we're negative or somebody else is negative, and then somebody says, "So what would you do differently?" I don't know what they do differently
Yeah.
right now. Who are you putting with Gunther? It's got to be Damian Priest. So I don't have
Yeah.
an issue with it. But if Kaiser's going to come in, you're going to get that opportunity to be in there with the top star. Again, lay it in. Lay
Yep.
it in. He may not get that shot again, Tommy.
Yeah, you may not. You know what I noticed about that segment, Coach, when Gunther came in the ring ready to cut the promo, he didn't
What's
say a
that?
friggin' word, right? And it almost came off to me that Damian was the heel and Gunther looked like a little baby face just in that promo segment alone. Because then Kaiser came in, he ran his mouth, he put his hand over it, like, dude, don't talk for me. What I got out of it was like, and I like Damian, that he was the heel here and Gunther, because I felt bad for Gunther. I actually felt bad for Gunther watching his face and everything, and he didn't say a word. A
And
word.
the reason you felt bad for him is when you're the world heavyweight champion, you don't want somebody talking for you because you come off as weak and sympathetic. And you're supposed to be the world heavyweight champion. So when Kaiser came out and Priest cut him off, that's what you felt. Am I right?
Yep.
You felt
Yeah.
sympathetic.
Yeah, I did. I'm serious, man. The past couple of weeks, Gunther is going, I don't know, semi baby. I don't know where they're going with him right now, man, because he's not the old guy where he just rips shit to shreds anymore, personally. And I like the way Damian brought that up, but Damian was man, Damian was hot tonight, man. He was on his game tonight, dude.
User 279 says it looks like they try to make Gunther almost an underdog. It kind of felt that way, user
Yes, it did.
279. It kind of
That's a
felt
good
that
point.
way a
Yep.
little bit. By the way, we do want to give a shout out to all the veterans out there. I thought they did a nice
Yes.
job of
Oh, they
working
always
that through the show.
yep.
It kind of made me remember when I went to Afghanistan the one time and I wrestled Ric Flair over there, and it was a powerful experience, Tommy, because what these military men and women go through. My
Yeah.
brother is a lieutenant colonel. He's actually leaving the army this month after over 20 years of service, and it is no joke. The PTSD, what they come back with, what I saw when I was in Afghanistan, we were on the base that they built in the middle of the night 25 years ago, right after 24, right after 9/11. And I can't even explain to you what it's like over there or what we saw. It doesn't even exist anymore. I think they've destroyed the entire thing, and we were there in 2005. So shout out to all of them because Tommy, the military, some of the biggest WWE fans that exist on the
Yeah.
planet.
Yep.
They love wrestling, don't they?
They sure do, man. I remember those trips, man, and you guys coming back, and some of that's, they got to shut all the lights off when they're getting to land, so nobody gets to see you. And I'm like, man, I don't know how you guys did that, man.
A couple of funny
I hated
stories.
going to St. Louis.
They there was a couple of funny stories from over there that I'll tell. GST, thank you. I'll let my brother know. My brother was a brother-in-law. He's married to my sister. He was a Black Hawk pilot, Tommy, and he was a recovery pilot. So imagine this: you're out in the desert, somebody gets wounded. He would then go out, land, and they're getting shot out by all the enemies, and he has to land, pick up that person, and then get him back to the base. And then you got two people on the guns on the side trying to protect as they're lying. Are you kidding me? I call him
Oh
the
my
Iceman
god.
for a reason, right?
Yeah. You
So,
know,
so Tommy, imagine this. Imagine this. We're flying over to Germany on that trip in 2005, and the Big Show sometimes could be a big baby. Let's be
yeah.
honest. And he loved to have JBL. Oh, JBL, look at me, look at me, look at me. So we're on a C-130. It's one of those big airplanes it's a cargo plane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've
half
seen
the
them.
plane,
Yep.
yeah, you see them. They're huge inside. The
Yep.
the windows are all up here,
Yep.
and they took seats on the sides and then seats on pallets like at a grocery store. So I'm sitting there. I haven't showered all day. It's a 9-hour flight to Germany. We stopped at the hospital and then another 9 hours to Afghanistan. Tommy, about halfway through the flight, Big Show takes a can of orange soda and it's about half full. And I'm dead asleep. He puts it on my chest and he slams it, and it goes
Oh,
everywhere all over me. I
no good.
lost it. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
what triggered me. I got up and I threatened him
Oh,
to a fight on the airplane in the over the Atlantic Ocean
you
somewhere.
don't
He's
do
like, "Whoa, whoa, coach, I was just joking around. I was just joking around." And Tommy, I was covered in orange soda for the next 6 hours, and then I had to land, and we had no time to shower at the hospital. So I'm walking around meeting these
uh,
troops that have lost legs and arms. It's where they take them from the desert to Germany. And so now I'm walking around all sticky, disgusting, and I'm furious at Big Show. So Tommy, when you have like that semi bully that then wants to be your friend. So
yeah.
we shared a cabin, and so about midnight, the first night we were on the grounds, Big Show goes because they serve people food all throughout the night because there's always people that are standing there on guard. He finds a honey bun, Tommy. I remember this like it was yesterday. You know what a honey bun is. You probably had a
Yes.
couple in your day, right?
Oh,
So
about a dozen.
so he goes to the mess hall, finds all these honey buns. He comes back in, and it's me and him. The crew from MSNBC are all sharing a cabin. And him go, "Hey, coach." I go, "Yeah, show. What do you want?" "I found honey buns. Do
Oh
you
my
want one?" And all of a sudden, a honey bun hits me in the face in the middle of the dark. And I'm like, "No, show. I don't want a honey bun right now. I really, really don't." So the very next day, we were divided into groups of 6. And then we had camera crews with us. So it was me, Triple H, Big Show, Vince McMahon, and then 2 girls. So we're getting ready to sign autographs, and Vince looks at me and goes, "Coach, where the hell is Big Show at?" I said, "I don't know, Vince." I said, "I'm not." He goes, "Aren't you in charge of him?" I said, "I'm not in charge of Big Show." So just then, Big Show walks into this big tent we're in, and I go, "Show, where you been?" Vince is pissed, and he says, "Oh, I tried to go to the bathroom, but all four of them out there are closed." I said, "Show, they didn't close four bathrooms. We're on a base. Quit lying." And he's got a bag. They gave us like a gym bag. And
Yeah.
so he goes, guess what else I found? And I said, what? He goes, they have honey buns over here too. And he had filled up this gym bag with honey buns again. I go, show, I don't want any more honey
Oh
buns. I
my
just want to
god.
sign autographs and move on. So we get done, and Triple H goes, hey man, I got to use the restroom. And I so we walk out. We walk to the first restroom. Tommy, it was closed. Second restroom, Tommy, it was closed. All four bathrooms, just like Big Show had said. So he got lit up by Vince, and he was actually telling the truth that all the
Wow.
bathrooms were closed for whatever reason. And we're in the middle of the desert in Afghanistan. It was
Oh my
bananas.
god,
It was
man, that's
bananas.
crazy stuff, man. You guys went through a lot of crap there, man. There was some
It was
I heard
nuts.
stories, man. Yeah.
It was nuts. They also weren't supposed to have alcohol on the base. And they had troops from the United States has friendly countries that they're friendly with. So they had Poland, all these different countries all on the same base. You could find, Tommy, anything you wanted. And I do mean anything that you wanted if
Wow.
you so choose, right? And have you ever heard of the kill board where the Air Force pilots keep track of how many people they kill?
No.
It's like it's supposed to be like this thing that's like it's kind of like a fantasy thing. Tommy, it's real because I've seen it.
Wow.
And whenever they go out and then they shoot somebody down, they come back and they keep track of it. And they keep it right next to this huge thing where all of the when people send them like uh, sweets and cookies and cakes. They put them in this big thing right next to this kill board. I mean, it was crazy. It was like all real. You read
Yeah.
about it, but it was all real. It was all
Wow.
real.
Wow.
I didn't mean to take a left turn there. I just thought that might be
Yeah.
some cool stories. Tommy, another thing I made a note about tonight. I don't know if we're in 1975, but Pete Dunne, can we please get some new ring attire?
Oh my god.
The singlet, the collar, I like how they're continuing to try to get Kofi and Xavier to fight with each other, but Pete Dunne is kind of like Gunther to me. I like what I like, Tommy, and I feel like we're going back 30 years or 40 years with the singlet and the fact that he comes out and he's doing this. I don't believe him. And plus
No.
he's they announce him as the cruiserweight,
Yeah.
200
What about
pounds.
did you see his hair? It just twirls around. It was like this. It came around like that. I'm like, dude, what world are you living in, man? It's 2024. Put your hair back in a bun. Look like you ever see Roman ties his hair back? The guy's a model, I swear to God. But Pete, man, he looks like a shalabobla, man. That's Italian for a sloppy dude. Man, I
I
don't get it. Like, does somebody talk to these guys? Like, nobody talk, like, dude, and yet stains on your friggin' gear too. I'm like, do you wash it or anything like that?
By the way, I misspoke. I meant to say bruiserweight, but it sounds like cruiserweight because he only weighs at 200 pounds,
Yeah.
205, whatever. Tommy, I feel like details are overlooked a lot. And whenever you're on TV 52 weeks a year, everybody's worried about their own stuff. And that's when a lot of these details fall through the cracks. And that is something that to me falls through the cracks. How you look, what you wear, the color of what you wear, how it pops, putting your hair up, and all those little things they may not seem like a big deal, but I'm telling you, if somebody does it consistently well, you start to notice. And Pete Dunne does not do it consistently well, but he comes from Europe and over there. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. But Tommy, speaking of cruiserweights, I thought WWE Speed was supposed to be for cruiserweights, or I guess maybe I was mistaken, but they
Mm,
put
Braun.
Braun Breaker and Sheamus in a speed match. So you got two big time dudes in a 3-minute match.
Yeah.
I
What
didn't
are
that
we
didn't
doing
make
with
any sense
Braun?
to me.
What are we doing with we haven't seen him on TV. He's got no angle. He loses the, you know, what are we doing with this guy? He's a stud athlete. He can cut a promo. Get him on TV, folks. Hello. Get him
He's
on TV. It's
Intercontinental
fun.
Champion. Yeah.
Okay, even better, right? We all know that. But I haven't seen him on TV. Am I missing something in a match, in an angle? What is it? Him and Sheamus now, or what? If it is, let them go at it and beat the hell out of each other because I want to see it. I don't want to see it on speed where it's 3 minutes long.
Nate says you're 100 on Pete Dunne. Goldberg would have been perfect for speed. Yeah, who's next?
Oh,
It's there was three things tonight that I thought to myself: we're now in a 2-hour Monday Night Raw. Why are we still doing it? One was the multi-segment match, Tommy, with Pete Dunne and Kofi, using a full segment to tell the story from SmackDown with Roman Reigns and those guys. And to me, if you only have 2 hours, why do we need a multi-segment match? But we had multiple multi-segment matches, which screams to me we don't have enough talent.
hmm
When are we going to admit that?
and lazy writing. I mean,
We got 8
you're up.
segments, maybe 9
Yeah,
to fill.
2 hours, dude. 2 hours. We used to knock that out in no time. Well, we had a million. We had 20 guys on each, 20 guys that could be main eventers, right? Or 15 at least, right?
Man,
I
I
can't
still
even name 5, coach. If you asked me to name 5 main eventers on Raw, I couldn't do it.
me and Vince tried the other day. We couldn't even get to 6. That legitimately when and our prerequisite was you've got to be able to sell tickets at a house show on the marquee. Said how many guys you put their name on the marquee are selling tickets for people to show up. 2000. You saw that somebody posted. I think it was Van Vliet posted that poster from 2002 with all those guys on it,
Yeah.
and there was legitimately 25
Yes.
guys that were main event stars.
Yep.
Um, Jordan says, have Braun regained the Intercontinental Championship from Jay just to use him. Wish Braun would have moved up to the main event scene and challenged Gunther. I think their thought process, Tommy, was we need to put a focus on speed. So let's put these two guys in that so we can take that to Raw. And then they come out of that into the interview. And so I know what they were trying to do. But Tommy, speed is a social media thing.
I
It's
was
never going
just
to be
gonna,
big.
I was gonna say, who cares? You got flagship shows, Raw and SmackDown. When I was in international, when I ran international TV, we were taught to sell the flagship shows, Raw and SmackDown. They're the two top shows. They drive the bus. And now you're pushing WWE speed. Come on, guys. You got to get better than that, man. You got to get some writing going on or something, man. It is
Jason said,
fun. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It's
Sorry, Jason
unbelievable.
says may as well in the brand split. Nate Jez and Eddie Guerrero back in that posters day was a mid card with guys like Edge, Christian, and RVD. Yeah, that's how great it was, Tommy.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
those were
I
mid
was there.
card guys back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yep.
Edge, Edge was a
Yeah.
mid card guy.
Yep.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Nate says those were the times. You are watching The Last Word. We are live every single week now, new starting time at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We are presented, as always, by Mybookie.ag. And do not forget, brand new merch. Tommy's head is so big now. I will post the link. We've got our own merch now. Coach and Carlucci
I'm
merch. Tommy, the
I'm
first
driving
person
my
that buys
wife
one.
crazy, crazy. She said to me something the other day. I don't know, we were in the grocery store. I said, "You're talking to a media content star."
Oh my God. I know your
I
wife
said
so
I
well.
said, I asked her, "Do you have merch?
Oh
Do
my
you have
God.
merch? I have merch. You don't."
Tommy, she will kill you.
I know.
She will kill you.
That's
Although,
why I was
if
turning it.
if I was to give you a suggestion that might drive her up the wall, I would buy a sweatshirt, Coach and Carlucci
Oh,
sweatshirt,
I
and
am.
then put it on and then walk into the room and say nothing and
Yeah.
just turn around and do the Chris Jericho.
Yep.
Wah, 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 break the one, and then turn around. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. True story. When I had my first action figure, I borrowed one of your wife's credit cards to
I
buy
remember this.
5 of
I
myself
remember.
because in my delusional head, I thought people are going to care. They're going to care. They're going to see that I bought my own. Nobody cared. And that's when
Oh,
I realized your wife has 12 credit cards, which she used on an airplane to call you from somewhere over Montana when we were flying to Seattle. That's a true story, folks. That's a
that's
true
true.
story.
That's true.
Uh, Question: do you guys
Yeah.
think that WWE should do what the NFL does and commemorate moments programs like Stone Cold against Kurt Angle, Eddie against Cena, Power Trip against Benoit and Jericho? NFL does it for moments. I don't know. I think it might be cool, but part of the problem is, Tommy, a lot of these guys have passed away
Yeah.
tragically, and when you do that, it just kind of brings up, at least for me, a lot of those guys were my friends.
Well, it's the wrong era now too, coach. It's a totally new management who don't give a crap about the superstars. Here's the difference, folks. When the chairman was there, he was at every TV taping. He could talk to every superstar. He would go over your contract in his office, or you got a shit something wrong. He would talk. That's not happening now, man. Nick Khan's not at TV. Mark Shapiro's not at TV. He can care less about your character or what you are as a superstar. There's two guys they love, Roman and Cody, and that's it.
All right, couple other things before we get the hell out of Dodge, and do not forget several contents. Follow us here on our YouTube page. Turn on those notifications every single time we drop anything. You will be notified. It came out this week, Tommy, and I think Vince Russo said it best. You can only serve so many masters, and Netflix apparently wants Roman, Cody, CM Punk on the flagship show. And if that's the case, you've got to end the brand split because USA Network has been your partner for over 25 years. And if you're going to take those three dudes off of SmackDown, what are you going to leave them? What is SmackDown going to have? And they have a third hour. So what is that show going to look like if all your top
Wow.
stars are on Netflix? And also, Netflix came out and they have not decided how long Monday Night Raw is going to be.
You know, that makes sense because it's a live stream and there's nothing behind them. It's not like the news is on next or we got something on USA Network next. They can open it up and make it 2.5 hours one week and 2 hours the next week and 3.5 hours the next week. Boy, as you're a writer, if you're writing for that for Raw, you're in big trouble when January comes. And if all those guys come over there, you better have some friggin' storyline for all these guys, or they're going to get stale, they're going to get pissed off, and it's not going to be good. And I agree with you. End the brand split it right now so we can do some of this stuff.
We saw The
It'll
Rock
kill
tonight.
SmackDown.
What's that?
It'll kill SmackDown
Yeah,
with all those
100%.
guys doing. Yep.
100%. I mean, SmackDown to me is already almost dead anyway.
Yeah.
It's so funny because our opinions are all over the place now. They quote this show all the time. And the one thing that never happens is nobody says, other than the dirt sheet writers that have never been backstage, nobody ever says, no, those guys are wrong because we lived it. We understand it. They literally are killing these brands. And you're going to double the price of tickets. A lot of people are talking about what we talked about 2 weeks ago. They are trying to buy Mania tickets. They're too expensive. And now, how much do you think, Tommy, it's going to cost if you get Roman, Cody, CM Punk? Let's throw Drew in there. Uh, let's have Damian Priest, Dom. How much do you think that ticket's going to cost for you to get into the door if that happened in Grand Rapids tonight?
Minimum $75. I'm
Easy.
talking cheap sheets. I'm not talking front row. I'm
Easy.
front row 300-400.
Wow.
They
On
don't
a
care
random
though.
Monday.
They don't care. They don't care,
Wow.
dude.
Do you think Roman, because with his health, it's very easy to forget he cannot, and it's not smart for them to continue to have him. And he's not, if you notice, he's not working a lot of matches, and that's smart.
No,
He's coming out, he's doing a little schmoz. He still has cancer. I mean, the
I
guy
know.
still has cancer, and he's showing up.
Yep.
And also, remember when I threw out it was my opinion, but of course it's out of context, and they never used the entire quote. I was talking about salaries, and that was quoted too. And I said, I think these guys have agents now. And Roman Reigns, as a top guy, if the agent says that we got to pay him just like a top NFL star or a top NBA star, it is safe to assume that he makes 20 to 25 million. Nobody disputed that. I said Cody's probably between 10 and 15. Nobody disputed
Easy.
that. Seth Rollins, I said probably between 3 and 7. Nobody disputed that. So I'm so sick and tired. We know what these finances are. But on the other side of it, Tommy, you sent this to me. MVP put out a quote. He did a podcast, and he said part of the reason he left WWE is because of the new people that are in charge, which is TKO. And TKO and Mark Shapiro had breakfast with Vince McMahon this week. Why
That's
would
right.
they do that? I have no
Mm.
idea. Why do you think they had breakfast with Vince McMahon this week?
They want to know what he's up to. That's what they want to know. They wanted to, and he ain't gonna tell anybody anything. You talk about the ultimate in kayfabe. He's looking at Shapiro. What a fool this guy is! If he thinks I'm telling him anything, you're freaking crazy. And he's still a minority shareholder owner too. He still has some shares.
Wow. Wow.
And that's
It,
why they wanna know, coach, because they don't want him no part of WWE, even though that's the reason why Shapiro is rich today is because of that man he had breakfast with.
it's going to be fascinating over the course of the next 2 months to find out exactly what is going to go down. If anybody's going to take, if there's any truth to the fact of Vince starting a new entertainment company, if anybody would take his money, it's going to be fascinating. And exactly what is the Raw situation going to look like with the John Cena tour popping off, with Rock's new movie, $250 million budget apparently for Rock's new movie, which means it's got to be a hit. And if it's not a
Oh,
hit,
man.
then I predict you'll be seeing him a lot more on WWE television, because I love him more than anybody. But Tommy, the man has not had a hit in a minute.
Yeah,
He
I
has not
know.
had a big
I
time
know.
hit in a minute.
He's pushing Red One a big time. That movie was made a year ago. It was supposed to come out last Christmas, and they held it up, and it didn't come out. They put it out now, and Rock's doing this big whole tour. Tonight, he's on Jimmy Fallon. I saw the commercial here. And you notice that he's GQ Man of the Year? They put that over in the show. 2024 GQ Man of the Year.
Yeah,
This
they
dude just
did.
he's printing money. But you know what? Couple of disasters in movies. See you later, buddy.
Sayonara. Yeah.
I'm back as
That's
the final boss.
the next 6 months, very, very interesting. But
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
it's
high,
big.
this is high leverage stuff. This is high leverage kind of stuff. And this is what you're talking about when a guy makes $30 million, biggest movie star in the world.
Yep.
And right now, the movie business is weird. I don't know if I told you this, Tommy. I'm gonna be in a movie that comes
Oh,
out in
really?
March. Yeah, I was kind of the star of the movie. Well, maybe not the star of the movie, but I was the ring announcer in the movie at an underground MMA fight. So
Oh,
I
really?
saw. That's a true story. I thought I
No,
told you that.
I believe you.
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
I mean, if anybody
I
understands
thought you were gonna
making
say adult movie.
that was like 15 years ago,
Yeah,
Tommy.
that was like
I left
15.
that I left that
Boy,
life behind.
I tell you, if we ever do a kayfabe podcast, dude, and we go down and dirty, your fucking heads will explode.
We had some times back in the day. Boy, did we
Oh,
have some times back in the day. Nate
yeah.
says, Coach and Tommy, the dirt sheet haters. You can put us right at the front of that damn line. There are some
Yeah.
people that have good opinions, but Tommy, it's impossible. And I do mean impossible to know what goes on backstage if you've never been there.
Right.
And yet they
And
go,
they
well, my sources tell me. No, they didn't. You have no sources.
and they've misquoted us so many times. That's why I hate them. They're all full of crap.
It's so true. It's so true. It's so
And by
true.
the
They
way, we're
misquote.
the ones that called about the crossover for the brands coming over and what they've been doing the past 2 months, coach. They've been bringing people. We had Solo sitting out there waiting in the car there. We had big old Nia and Tiff coming in the ring, right? It's been going on for weeks now, right? Are
Yep.
we wrong, folks? We
Nope.
called this 2 months ago. In the
Nobody
summer, we
refuses.
asked for it.
All they do is call a city. When somebody is a name calling, that means what we're saying is true. And when we base our opinions off of credibility, because we've been there, and I don't like to keep reaffirming that because, Tommy, I know we were there over 47 years, but
Yep,
it gets frustrating when we use. I mean, we've seen it with our own two eyes. We've
yep.
seen it. We've seen it. Very interesting. All
Yes, it
right,
is.
Tommy, good job tonight. By
Thank
the way, little tease. I need to have a two shot real quick, producer man. So, Tommy, I had a phone call today. And if
Oh
your
my god.
wife, this is a little tease, if your
Oh,
wife thought you had a big head before, wait until she sees what we're about to announce. I'll say in the next 2 weeks. You
alright.
don't you don't even know this yet. I haven't even
No,
told you yet.
no,
But
I don't know anything.
we are taking BTT to much bigger platforms.
Great.
I just don't know when actually we're going to start. But it's going to be before the end of the year, and we're going to be all over the big platforms.
I'm
That's all I'm going
down,
to say.
folks. I'll wear my Coach and Carlucci sweatshirt and stick it up everybody's ass. Not the guys watching on us with us. I'm talking where I live around here.
Oh my God, your wife is going to just kill me. What are you
Oh,
doing?
I love it. I
You're
love it.
not. You're on BTT. You love driving her crazy. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
driving her crazy. I
Yeah.
love driving her crazy.
Yep.
True story for everybody who doesn't know. This is a true story. We literally were flying to Seattle, and I'm in the front row of first class, sitting right next to Tommy's wife.
Sleeping.
I kid you not, I'm dead asleep. So imagine you wake up in one of your sign me up for this question because I have a list longer than Jericho's holds. They so I've known Tommy, one of my best friends. So imagine you're sitting there and your feet are against the wall in front of you, and you're dead asleep, and you wake up to this: one of your best friend's wife
Straddle.
straddling you, facing you right here. What do you do? What do you do? And then she is straddling you because she can't get one of her 12 credit cards to work on the phone, because a lot of you aren't old enough to remember they had phones on these planes that you could stripe your credit card and you could call. We were going to land in 20 minutes. That wasn't good enough for Michelle Carlucci. No, 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 no.
Ask
I
the
need to talk
pilot.
to the pilot. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I talk to the pilot? Oh, you mean the man flying the plane? Yes, my American Express isn't working, and I need to call my husband. Well, we're landing in 15 minutes at the Seattle Tacoma Airport. No, 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 no. I need to talk to him right now. And so then she comes back over, straddles me again to get back into her seat. And I'm sitting there going, I don't even know how I feel about this, Tommy. I was very uncomfortable. I was very, very, very uncomfortable. Even to this
Oh,
day. Even to
yeah.
this day. Even to this day.
I've had
By the
that.
way, Nate says, sign me up for this question show. We also have another platform, Tommy, that we met with the owners that we're going to do a test this Wednesday. And for those of you who watch the show, you're going to have the opportunity to come onto the show and ask a question live on video. And that we're going to start that in the next month or two as well. It's a brand new platform, Tommy. It's not even out yet, but I have the in. I have the in.
I'm down. I'm
We're
ready.
making moves,
With
dog.
producer man,
We're making.
hey, with producer man, we can do anything.
That's very true.
He's the man. He is the
That's
fucking
very
man.
true. Yeah.
He's a bad motherfucker, man. He
He's
he he's he's like in Pulp Fiction. He got that wallet. It's BMF.
All right, that's enough messing around. We are done for tonight. Turn on those notifications. We got a ton of shows coming out. We're going to do a bunch of new interviews. This is the brand of record that you need to come to for all the correct opinions and all of the correct information. For Big Tommy C, producer man, intern Dan, I am the coach. We'll see you next Monday night live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time right here on The Last Word. Take care.